All right, Knights of Apollo, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to Napoleonic Total War 3. Today, we've got an extra special video because it's a 4v4 clan battle, and it's part of the Lordz Clan League Season 5 that is going on active right now. And you're going to see two of the top 3 clans currently battle each other. So if we look at the current clan positioning, we've got Royal Cravates. You're going to see them take on the Letuchiy Korpus. It's going to be an epic matchup, and you can see what they're playing as right here. So here's all the players and all the different cores they have selected. The game mode they're playing is called Army Corps. Essentially what you do is you pick cores that are historically accurate to a specific event. They're playing the invasion of Russia. So Letuchiy Korpus is playing as Russia, and the Royal Cravates are playing as French. Again, here's all the player names, and here are all the cores that they're playing as and the value of each core. Now, they are using a new LOC system, and I really wanted to take time to break this down so you understand how this works. It might seem a little jarring, a little complicated at first, but it's really not too complicated. Before, you would just have to conquer specific buildings that have a point system. Now you have to conquer specific buildings and make sure they're connected and have an exit route. That is the only way the points would be tallied. So for example, if the enemy took control of all the exit routes, they win, you lose. It means you're surrounded and you have no way of escaping that battle. So it's really going to come down to making sure you have control of the buildings you need along with an exit route and making sure the buildings are connected. So let me give you an example. This is not from the battle you're going to see. It's just an example to show you how we tally up these points. Now you can see blue team has an exit route, right? So you can see they've got a road off the map. They also have 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings under their control. One building is worth 2 points, and one building is worth 4 points. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. So they have 8 points, and of course the exit route. So you can count all these points. The red team has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buildings, but 4 of those 8 buildings are not connected. You see how they're not connected, so they do not count. Only the buildings are connected. So they have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings connected. 2 of them are worth 2 points. So they have 4, 5, 6 points. So they don't have as many points as the blue team because even though they control more buildings, they are not connected. And you only tally up the connected points. And of course, they have the exit route, but still, even with the exit route, it's not enough to win because blue has more points overall along with that exit point. It's pretty simple, guys. Basically, you just got to keep your buildings connected, and you got to make sure you have an exit route and you have more points than the enemy. It makes the battles much more dynamic, and it really makes you have to think on how you're going to maneuver your troops and make sure you got enough troops covering enough ground to get control of that exit point. So guys, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into this epic clan battle with some really good teams. You're going to see some pretty awesome tactics here. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's begin. The epic battle, Russia, played by Letuchiy Korpus versus France, led by the Royal Cravates. Let's see who takes this battle. All right, guys, here we are on the battlefield. Now, we got some interesting turn of events right at the start of this fight, and it's the Russians who are using Vanguard capability. They've got troops that have spawned outside of their deployment. One spawned right at the headquarters of the French. Now, the headquarters, they don't really mean anything. If you capture them, it's not a big deal. But this is a pretty critical spot. This is the headquarters location, and it's near the exit, right? It's near an exit of the map. So if they can maintain this, if they can hold this, that would prevent... It would make it more difficult for the French to try to win an LOC victory. Same thing over here. The French have Vanguard and have pushed forward their men to the buildings to just hunker down and hold. They're not going to win this. They're not going to hold these the entire game, but they're going to slow the French reinforcement forces. So they've got they've got an army here, and an army here. Actually, I think just two. These are two armies. And then the two other armies are already up in the center of the map. So it's going to slow down those reinforcements. We also have some Russian cav that is just doing some scouting right now and potentially could charge if they see any weakness in the French forces. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I am really excited to see some really, high skill players go at it right now and just see the difference between like a typical just, players who just play the game for fun. I mean, they're playing for fun. It's not like they're playing for money or anything. Maybe, I don't know. There might be a cash prize. I'm not sure. But if it is, it's not a lot. Anyways, they're competitive players. That's what I'm trying to say. Ooh, we also have some Vanguard Cav. Look at these guys. The uniforms are just awesome. They look so great. I mean, it's just like the detail and the variety and everything. It's just really cool to see that. I mean, these uniforms in particular aren't anything amazing. They just look like they're wearing coats, like brown winter coats. But it's just cool to see such variety. So there, the French are now pushing forward. They got to deal with these capture points that have been stealthily taken by the Russians. It's that home field advantage, I suppose. So the Russians, still nothing yet in terms of major engagements. They're still just constantly kind of scouting. The French very obviously are going to take a defensive approach here. He's got some cannons open and fire. Man, look at these guys looking fly. These are the brains of the army, the artillery. Very mathematical men who are joining the fight here. Anyways, they're opening fire and just kind of shelling the Russian cav, trying to get lucky and, take them out. By the way, guys, the mini-map, the red represents the French and the blue represents the Russians. Just if you want, it will help you see the kind of, the LOC line of communication situation. Okay, hold on. We've got a tussle here. Where is this? Right here? Oh, yeah. The professional French Lancers are running down these Vanguard rabble. And sure enough, they don't want any piece of that. And the French most likely will break these guys and get them off the battlefield. This guy's like fighting air right now. Just swinging at the air. Anyways, they're going to scare them off and just get them out of there. That's a good move by the French. I mean, this unit is not very good, but they can, if they caught some skirmishers or artillery out of position, it could have been a big disaster, right? So, and they actually don't break them. They actually get out of there. That was kind of awkward. So interesting little engagement there. They still have to worry about this rabble cav, and they're going to go right back at it. They're like, they nearly died, but you know what? Let's get back into the struggle. And more of the Russian forces are appearing. Look at this. We do have some more units here. Looks like, ooh, look at these men. Look at this officer. Dang. Looking good, looking fresh. Yeah, they've got some cool units. It looks like a lower quality unit. Big, massive units. Look at, oh, okay, they're kind of, oh, well, no, this is a huge regiment right here. Look at this. Massive. Now they've set up artillery on their side, and they're going to go ahead and return the love to the French, which the French have been dishing out early in this game. And yeah, this is going to be a critical part of the battle. Here we go. Here we go. We've got a fight going on. The Russians, I think with their Vanguard troops kind of spawned from behind. The Russians looked like they were going for a cav charge there, but the French quickly focused their Swiss units and start firing at this cav. They better get moving with this cav. This unit forms square formation. They're in a tricky situation. I guess they're being aggressive with this cav, waiting for an opportunity to strike this unit. And look at this. Look at this. Well-timed attack there with these Vanguard Russian troops. So this is going to be a big headache for the French here at the start of this battle. These Russian troops coming out of the woodwork and just harassing these forces from behind. And look at these men are even near breaking. This is Grenadiers. The Swiss Grenadiers near breaking from getting shot at. And the French are having to reorganize their lines and prevent any of their troops from getting fired from the rear. I mean, that will break a lot of troops regardless of the skill and veterancy of said unit. But yeah, really good, annoying tactics here by the Russians. And now the French are charging in. They're charging in with some infantry. And that most likely, again, it's common that the vanguard troops are not that great. So a lot of times the vanguard troops are lower quality forces. You know, they're just skilled in stealth and maneuvering, but they're actually holding pretty effectively here. They're doing a good job. So hold on, let's also check out over here. They're now fighting and dealing with this Russian force in this building here. The Russians, of course, have kind of trenched themselves in here, and they're trying to hold back the French forces. And again, this is slowing down the French reinforcements. We also got the vanguard troop over here on the mini map. Let's see. Yep, they're over here. It's a few of them. I guess not all of them could fit inside the building. Yeah, there they are. Look at this guy. Look. Oh, yes, the Russians are here. So the French are going to quickly come in and most likely clear them out. But look at this, guys. I mean, there are Russian troops everywhere. I don't think these are vanguard troops. I think he's just pushed up these hussars. So he used the side. See, we can't really see them, right? Oh, there's a big engagement over here. Let's check this out. Cav charging in. What a great charge by the Russians, breaking French forces. Man, Russia is doing a great job at the start of this battle, being extra annoying. We got more infantry showing. Look at the size. Look at the amount of this regiment. Massive force here moving up. So yeah, they're doing a great job with these stealth units. They're moving up troops. They're using the side here of this map, where there's a lot of trees, which conceals their movement. And they are pushing up troops, and they're trying to cut off the French. I think that's their strategy here, because notice, guys, on the mini-map, this is important right here. This side of the map is very important. And remember, any capture point that is not marked by a number, they're worth 1 point. So if the Russians come in, they cut off some roads, they capture a lot of these buildings, they can get an LOC victory that way. So the French are going to have to deal with this. They got to keep the Russians from cutting them off, and, you know, prevent them from taking too much control of the map. So we'll see what the French do here. The French have taken control of this important building here. So they're going to, you know, they're going to hold, or no, the Russians still control it. That's right. The Russians still control it. The French are having an absolute difficult time. Look at these guys are breaking. They got to just go in full force. So what do we got here? We've got some... This is Napoleon's army, the Imperial Guard. Yeah, they are getting lit up, guys. This is a struggle, and the Russian cav is coming over to support. So Russia, it seems like what they're doing is waiting for the French to commit into a melee, and then they're going to charge their cav at the rear and kind of do like a hammer and anvil effect and see if they can break better units, you know. Well, let's see, they're trying. It looks like they can't really get a charge off there. They're kind of getting it. I don't know where they're going. It might just be awkward. The pathfinding might be awkward because of the building. But look at the amount of French who have been slain here as they try to penetrate this Russian defense and take back this building. Now we've got another, let's see, what's this? We got another Russian unit. They're just everywhere. It's like bees, a swarm of bees. They are everywhere, and it's creating such a havoc for the French. The French are actually falling back here. The Russians are doing a great job. They've taken control of this cluster of buildings. Look at the mini-map again, because this is really important. You can see that the Russians are really going for these collection of buildings. Now, they've got to control. Remember, they've got to connect towards an exit, right? So, if they capture this one, this one, this one, and this one, and that's it, that's not enough. They've got to capture this and capture this 2-point building and make sure they have control of this exit route. So, yeah, but it's a good start. I like what the Russians are doing. They're getting very aggressive. Here comes a cav charge right into some lights. Swiss voltigeurs. A great charge. That breaks them. Good use of the cav. The Russians are using their... Nice. Here comes a counter charge. I like it. Giving them a taste of their own medicine. Chasseur à cheval going in. The Russians do not break there, though. In fact, the cav breaks. My goodness, but it was a valiant effort. The French are pushing aggressively down here on this side of the map, the southern side of the map. They're going to go and try to take over, it looks like, the Russian headquarters. Again, that's not a big deal. The Russian it's not really means anything. I think it's just, well, it varies, but this is, well, actually, this one's worth 4 points. So that's kind of important. Here we go. We've got more professional troop here from the Russian armies, the Russian corps. So it's cool to see them on the field. Of course, they're going to be hanging out at the headquarters. But we've got the Bavarian contingent of this French army. They are going to push and try to take control of this 4-point headquarters. That might be pretty big right here. You know, it's tough. The French do control most of the map. I believe. In terms of the buildings worth points and everything, they control most of the map. They just have to, I think they just have to hold at this point, right? Because they have all of this, and it all kind of connects, especially if they take the headquarters. This building way over here, oh man, I hate when it does that. It pushes you underground. There seems to be an awkward, what is going on? Do they not realize? He must have sent his cav over here and not realized that there is a Russian unit just chilling right here. It's like they're so far away from the battles and they don't want to fight each other. They're just hanging out. You know, the generals are so fun. They can't see what's happening. They're just not killing each other, just hanging out. I don't know. That's funny. Let's go back over to this fight where we're seeing more and more Bavarians come out or come forward and make the Russians. Well, actually, there's a bunch of cav here, too. French cav trying to get behind this position. The Russians are preparing a defense for this 4-point headquarter area, which is going to be very important for the Russian forces. They cannot lose this position, and it does appear that the Bavarians are going all in. They're going all in here. So we'll see how the Russians can maintain their defense. The French holding on to this 2-pointer still. The Russians now, ooh, look at this. The Russians moving up some quality troops here. Look at these guys. Ooh, they're looking good. Yes, I love these uniforms. Love them. But the French are, again, kind of just hunkering down here, preparing for a epic defense. The French are drawing their line. This is their battle line. This is where they say, all right, Russia, no more. You will not take this position. Look at this firefight. This is great. Yeah, so the French are going to make sure they maintain this victory point. Or this house here that's worth 1 point. Because it connects to the exit. It's an important position. And it also makes it so these buildings don't connect to an exit. So this is going to be a very, a very important position for the French to hold. And the Russians know this, and that is why they are sending such massive amount of troops to try to take control of it. I absolutely love this LOC, this new LOC victory condition setup here. I just think it makes it way more dynamic, and it makes it more realistic. Because how many, I mean, you know, there's many battles where if the exit is cut off, it's done. It's over, and you'll have armies surrender because there's nowhere to escape. So these important roads to fight for make complete sense. Oh, man, this artillery is dangerously firing very close to their own crew. But they are firing down on the Russians, who have their forces kind of blobbed up over here, and that's going to make them kind of disperse and reorganize, which, yeah, makes sense. So let's go back over to this fight. This is a critical fight right here, and the Russians are spearheading it. Right now, we got some really epic Russian troops leading the charge right now, firing at the flank. And this is Napoleon's corps right here, who's fighting for this headquarters. This is awesome. So they got a sizable force, but they are taking on a mighty force of Russian troops. Look at them pour across the bridge. And they might just, like, charge in. And look at, yeah, more and more French are moving down. They've got to quickly move. They almost feel like they're out of position, guys. Look at these guys. Are sexy. Damn. You wish you were this sexy. But you not. It is what it is. But yeah, these troops are moving down. They're going towards the village. I think they're going to They might be using this unit as a sacrificial unit. Yeah. God bless their souls as they make the ultimate sacrifice. So the rest of the troops can form up in this village and make it a close quarter fight. I don't know if they necessarily want that with the Russians. The Russians look like they're going to take this. I see a lot of blue and not a lot of red. France looks like they're going to get overwhelmed here. There's nothing they can do. This could be bad. This could be really bad. It's like a battle of opposite sides, because kind of the same thing is happening over on the other side. Let me just get from underground, where the French forces, the Bavarian part of the French force or French army is pushing very aggressively at this crucial part. So it brings a sort of balance to the battle, and it's really a matter of, can the Russians hold here, or can the French hold over here in the other part of the minimap? I'm gonna go ahead and make the minimap a little bit smaller so we can really enjoy the fight. But I will be looking at the minimap quite a lot because it does play an important role to the outcome of this fight. The Russians still, you know, they're still just pushing on this side of the map. And we've got more French kind of organizing, pushing up, not willing to give up any more ground to these Russians. And now we've got a little bit of a line battle. And sure enough, like, the French are just kind of falling back here. I don't really see them making too grand of a push here. And is this Napoleon himself? No. Yes, it is Napoleon. Where is he? There he is. He's got to be, like, a little concerned right now. I mean, look at him. He's not even looking at the battle. He's just like, did I leave the oven on? I think I left the oven on. No. Josephine will turn it off. In before Josephine's sleeping with another guy. Anyway, so yeah, they're fighting a good fight right here. And more troops are pushing up. And I think they're going to just... honestly, at this point, I feel like they're just going to try to keep them contained here, because the Russians have taken over this position. But there is a part of the French army that is pushing a little bit on the flank here. You know, they are... oh, they're coming. The French are coming. Napoleon has given the order, and they are coming to support him. And there's some French heavy cav, or I'm sorry, yeah, French heavy cav Murat. It's coming to support. Whoa! Some artillery opening fire. This is nuts. They're fighting for the building. France is holding on to the building as we speak. I mean, this building has to stink. You got dead troops everywhere. Pile of dead troops. Look at these Frenchmen. Are these these are Polish troops. Oh, look at them go. This guy's... oh, look at him. Oh. Oh, he's kicking ass. Oh, he just stepped on his neck and then finished him with the bayonet to the heart. This guy's going off. Did he just kill that guy? Look at him go. He's just going off, man. He's a killing machine. Oh, my gosh. Look at him. He's like, you dog. Oh, man. This is the guy he pushed over, and he's back. Oh, and his brother in arms, he's like, I got you, bro. Oh, bro. That's gnarly. That is, oh, the French are coming in. This is a mess right now. You got units coming into the village. All right, let's kind of take a zoom out here, because these battles are massive in scale. So yeah, there's a big, like howitzer artillery coming down on the French. This is a brutal fight, but a critical fight, and this French push might determine this battle, but it looks like they're giving up on the push, and they're going around. But in the center, guys, look at this. In the center here, there is no Russian forces, at least that we can see. The French might be able to push between these two Russian armies. Look on the minimap. The blue represents the Russians, and it might get confusing because usually when you think blue, you think the French. But yeah, they are positioned here and positioned here. It almost feels like these two armies are cut off. Look at the scale of this battle, guys. the Bavarians are taking this slow. They're not getting too aggressive here. They're kind of sitting back, using their artillery, using their infantry when needed, but it's mostly artillery and lights that are doing the work here and just kind of slowly picking off these Russians, who obviously you don't want to face the Russians up close and personal. Take them out from afar. You will do much better. So yeah, it looks like they're kind of doing a slower approach. Here we go. Here's some Russian troops. It looks like they're falling back towards the headquarters because they don't want to lose it. And let's go back over to the French side. Yes, the French are... Oh my gosh, this is getting bloody. This is the bloodiest part of the battle right now. The Russians are going in with bayonets. Look at the two. I mean, you might have the two flag bearers fight each other. Oh, that would be amazing. The officer just died. The officer of the Russian unit that just charged in has died. Look at the French banner carrier is looking for the Russian one. He's waving it. He's like, ah! That's cool. Oh, and then the Russians just won the melee engagement there, but they're not going to go any further because there's some French cav coming to support. Let's see what they do here. They might be going in for a charge, potentially.
This building has fallen.
Oh, no. A building has fallen. The Russians have taken a building. Where is it? Oh, no. It's where the Polish... Is this where the Polish lads were holding? Yes, it was. Oh, the Polish, they held for so long. But the Russians have taken control of this strategic position. And the French are falling back here a little bit. The Russians are, well, they're positioning again because it looks like there's going to be a counter attack by the French. They do not want to lose this headquarter or this victory position. And they're going to send up fresh troops to avenge all the French soldiers who fell in this bold Russian push. Oh, man, this is getting crazy. I know Russia's doing really good over here, but the question is, how's it looking over here? Well, this is key. This is a big part of the battle, guys. The Russians might have overextended most of their forces. That's the issue. That's the challenge, I should say, of this new LOC conditions, like victory conditions. You got to figure out the perfect balance of how many troops you can commit to a certain side of the battlefield, because if you completely abandon, you know, a different side, you could lose the game because you got to control the exit points. You got to make sure you have, you know, connecting linked buildings. If you don't, you're not going to get the points you need to win the day. So Russia, I don't know. We'll see. It seems like they're a little uneven in terms of their fight here, and they've committed a ton. Look at the chaos of this fight. They committed so much to this side of the battle. We'll see if it pays off. They've got to dominate the French here. They continue to charge in their men. I think they're trying to disrupt their formation so they can push forward some more infantry. Hold on, did I see a unit firing behind them? Yes, I did. They're firing at French cav that are in the back lines here, but this French cav is in danger of breaking. They're getting shot from multiple angles. They're getting chased down by this melee unit. Let's see what they do here, if they can actually get behind these Russians. Let's see.
Our men are running.
Oh, man. They are getting gunned down. Yeah, that's just a bad spot. That's a good cav unit gone. Really good cav unit. That's unfortunate. It looks like they were thinking about sending in more cav over. They got big cav units, and the French are having to fall back. This is just too much. There's just too many Russians here, and the French are having to reorganize their forces. We'll see what happens here, though. I think their Bavarians are going in for the kill. I mean, we do have some French forces as well helping the Bavarians. And when I say French forces, I really mean like all who are fighting under the French flag, which includes the Bavarians for a while until they turn on the French later on. But we won't talk about that. The Bavarians going in for a charge. And so it begins at this very critical position. Extremely critical position that I feel like the Russians have left undefended. They are going to rely on their bayonets to try to get themselves out of this one. There's a decent amount of Russian reinforcements on the outskirts here, and they are going to head over to the French reinforcement force, who is marching their way to try to deal with these Russians. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Very cool. Very cool. So the Bavarians are now pushing up some infantry, just kind of the famous Bavarian headwear they have, the helmets they have, the hats or whatever. Yeah, great volleys into these Russian troops. Are they going to fire back? I mean, the Russians are getting shot, and they need to turn around. They're not even looking the right way. It might be because the player is focusing over here and trying to deal with these French reinforcements that are closing in on the Russian headquarters. Russia's got to hold on here. I love these battles. They're just so, they're so lifelike. They're so dynamic, and it really feels like a real Napoleonic battle that is unraveling before our eyes. It's just so cool. This is peak Total War right here. It's just peak. Awesome. But I love it. I mean, look at the minimap, guys. Once this is gone, look at the minimap. It is surrounding this headquarters, and then total opposite over here, complete opposite, where the Russians are pushing back the French. And this is, I mean, who's gonna win? You know, like, what's gonna happen? Now the French, they gotta make a stand here. This is their headquarters. This is their exit. They need an exit path. They need to keep these roads linked together. So I think what's going to happen here is that the French are buying time. They're delaying. Obviously, they're kind of fighting the enemy. Hit and run. They're going to hit them, fall back, reorganize. They might make their stand in this headquarters over here, which ironically is still controlled by the Russians, who are now shooting at the falling back French, and I'm sure they're having a good chuckle. Here comes a Russian cav charge from Hussars. They're trying to cut off the retreat, and wow, I don't know, guys. I mean, this is looking very bad for the French. You know these Russians are giggling. You know they're having a good time watching these guys retreat as the Russian army pushes in. They're giving them a good cheer, a great cheer. Now we got Russians taking control of many of these buildings. Look at this. Many Russians actually, they kind of look like they're falling back and might go towards this main fight. So now this side of the battle has really become the bloodier side of the battle, as the French and Russians clash here with full force. And look at this, the Russians going in with the bayonet charge. This is what they're famous for. The French are very good at charges as well, of course. So it's an epic clash of these units. And now we've got some Russian cav going around. More Hussars looking for vulnerable targets. Let's get a bird's eye view of this fight. Look at more bayonet charging going in. Man, France is having a tough time here. Oh, a nice charge in the rear of these French troops. Very cool. Now back over this way, Russia's holding on. I mean, I don't know if they're going to completely win this fight, but they're holding on, and I don't know. It seems like the Bavarian army, oh, they're coming over to help. They've pulled a lot of Bavarian troops who are attacking the village over to try to help the French and hit the rear of these Russian forces. This might pay off for the French Empire. This might just pay off for them. I like this move. I think that's a good move right here. That's something that might save this engagement, because the Russians are definitely winning right now against the French. The French, though, all they have to do... Oh, my gosh. They just shot some of their own men. Or maybe they didn't. Oh, no. They shot some of their own men who were breaking. But, yeah, what the French need to do here is just collect themselves, reorganize, wait for the Russians to fall back, because now they have to deal with the Bavarians. And the Bavarians are like... They were going for the Russians. Now the Russians are turning around. The Bavarians are like, oh, Scheiße. We are about to get attacked here. Let's fall back and reorganize. Nice little charge with the cav. This cav has been very crucial in this fight. The counter charge And that prevents the Russian cav from doing too much damage. Great job there. Now the Bavarians are going to make their stand. And now the French, who were once being pushed back, and now have to kind of go in. The Russians are in a tricky situation, going back and forth. They're just surrounded, trying to survive. I don't think they can come out of this situation. I do think this headquarters is going to fall eventually. Now, let's go back over to this side because it's also getting very wild. Extremely wild. The Russians... Guys, I mean, this is not looking good for the French. I mean, the Russians are going to take control of this headquarters. I think they will. I think they moved their men out of it. They just have to send someone back in it eventually. But the Russians have this French force completely en route. They, yeah, this is not good. So the French must... if they want any chance of winning this battle, they have to win here. They absolutely have to win here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But the Russians are, I think they're going to regroup. And I don't know how much they're going to pursue these Bavarian troops. They might kind of regroup back inside the city to kind of bolster the numbers. Because the Bavarians are still just kind of poking and prodding and trying to... Ooh, not a good engagement there. Trying to soften up the Russians so they can take this headquarters. Man. Oh, yeah. Look at the massive routing. This French army has been destroyed. The Russians have done a great job with their hussars. They've used them to strike as these troops were falling back and causing them to break. They just can't stomach this. And this has been a disaster for the French Empire. Russia is definitely feeling pretty good about this, but they got to start moving. And I think he should take and they're already doing it, guys. Look at this. They've already got regiments in column formation using the roads to quickly transport themselves over to the other side of the battlefield. And they might just go for a domination here. How much time left? They've got 25 minutes. There's 25 minutes left in this battle, potentially. So they've got enough time to move troops down there and potentially utterly break the French. Oh, man, look at this. This awesome scene right here of these troops victoriously defeating the French on this side. And now marching over to help their comrades who are struggling against the other French forces. Now, this is an interesting turn of events here as well because the French have a lot of cav in this situation. So the cav could be, if they play it right, the cav could wreak havoc on these Russian forces. And I think this is a great play by the Russians. Get inside the village and hold out until reinforcements arrive. That's what he needs to do here. And it also makes it more difficult for all this French cav to do any damage. But I love this setup. He's got some Russian forces kind of setting up a wall here. And he's got Russian forces kind of holding here as troops retreat into the headquarters, this village. We'll see how this plays out. But the French are trying to get aggressive here. And they're trying to prevent any more reinforcements from falling back into the city. Now the Russians are doing a ridiculously hopeless charge. I think he's just trying to disrupt these Bavarians. Yes. Now we got a counter charge coming in. Oh, this is beautiful. Trying to break this Russian wall, but they stand against the French cav. Well, maybe not. It's turning. It's going to be a close one. Can they break them? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. That was big right there. Look at this French cav just recklessly charging in and trying to disrupt this Russian force. They should break these guys. They're going all in. Man, this is a mess right now. Look at this. Oh, this is cool. You got the fog and the troops. It's a beautiful map. It's just so vibrant and colorful. Here comes another charge from the other side. We got dragoons coming in. And this might cause a huge chain rout. Yes. Yes, a massive Russian chain rout. They needed that so bad. So now they can really focus on clearing out this village and also dealing with the Russians who are headed down the road here. A lot of healthy troops, fresh troops. Morale's got to be pretty high. They've got troops going down this road as well. I think they're making a move to capture some of these buildings here. This is, yeah, this is looking troublesome.
The men of
for the
fatigue,
French.
sir, and must rest a while.
I'm having a hard time seeing it. Like, I know it's still early in the battle. We're near the end, but I'm just having a hard time seeing the French come out on top of this. I mean, let's see, we got some French forces here. It's not a lot, though. Is this a general about to get charged? Yes! The general just got charged now. I don't see this general surviving. There he is. He's dead. Is that our first death? Our first general death here. Uh-oh. We've got some units using their silencers here. Here, let me fix that real quick. I gotta... No, it should... Oh, okay, I see. Oh. Here we go. There we go. Back to the game. There we go. Fixed just like that. Now we've got some French cav seeking revenge for their fallen general. I don't know how much was left of his army, but it might have not have been a big deal that that general has fallen. The Russians are pushing back. Look at this mass break by the Bavarian troops. A mass break on them. Man. They still are trying to close in. The Russians are hanging on barely. A lot of breaking for the Russians as well, as you can see in this village. And this is some juicy fighting. The Russians are coming though. They're coming. Here comes a charge. Wow. The Swiss stand their ground and force them to break. We got a couple French forces in the rear trying to slow down the Russian advance. Let's go ahead and look at the map right now. Let's see who's control. It's tough to say early on, but it feels like the Russians are in control. They've got control of everything here.
Our men are running.
All right, here we go. Russians pushing up. French are pushing up. Bavarians pushing up more precisely. And they're trying to clear out the streets. And, oh, we're going to get some great hits here. These guys, the Russians are out of position. Out of position. They need to just full on attack. Look at this. He's got his artillery in a great position here. And he's got this unit that's kind of protecting the artillery, though they're currently moving away. Oh, yeah, they're just shelling right into the street. There's nowhere to run. Now the French are charging in. They're charging in. Russians up here on the building here. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Now the French are making a stand. They've got, with the artillery, this is epic as hell. Look at that. They just crushed that Russian unit with grape shot. But they're gonna, how do they not break okay, they broke. And the French are desperately trying to keep this artillery alive. Wow. And the Russians can't get too confident here. They can't just throw their troops in. This could lead to disaster. Come on. The French are maintaining their lines with cav support. We got a Bavarian unit coming in to support. Many Russian units are breaking here. They just ran into a trap. Wow, this is insane. What a turnaround. Now we've got some cav going in for the kill. Boom. Getting these guys. Oh my gosh. I feel like a massive Russian force has just been crushed in seconds. Now, to be fair, these units are tired. They already fought a bunch of French. But now they just ran into just this. I feel like this one artillery piece saved the battle. It's not over yet by any means, but it's definitely not going to be as easy as the Russians hoped. Wow. What do you think they did wrong there? I think they just got too confident. I think they bottled up too many of their forces. The French were ready for them. And now they're losing control of this village, guys. This could be a situation where the French snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat. Might be one of those situations, guys. It's still too early to say. It's still too early to say. Now they're charging in the Bavarians. They're trying to get in this building and take control of it. Wow, this is awesome. A great fight. And guys, yeah, I'm looking around. The Russians are bleeding everywhere. They're breaking here in the village. I mean, the French might just win with domination. Or like just dominating the Russians. It's too early to tell, but let's see. We got a unit just looking at this building. We got some reinforcements coming over, but I just feel like it's too late. Wow, what a turn of events right there. Honestly, that was great use of the artillery. That was pivotal. That was crucial. And they pulled it off. And the Russians just ran right into it. And honestly, they've got to send more troops into this building to take control of it. We're down to 16 minutes. Oh, the building is starting to fall apart. They're hitting it with artillery. They got to be careful there. They don't want to destroy it. I believe the team that destroys the house, the points go to the other side. All right, there they go. They're charging in. They're charging in. The building is open. It's on fire. It's chaos. The Russians try to desperately hold on to this building, but it looks like they are breaking, and they're not going to be able to maintain their own headquarters. Let's look at this map here. Let's see what's going on. So, the Russians still control this, but not for much longer. Over here, the Russians control this building. I'd say this building here is not controlled by anyone. So, remember, the lines have to connect. The farmhouse has been conquered by the French. They conquered the 4-point building. And now the French are going to push up and most likely take control of this building. And this is the stage of the battle where they're now just like quickly trying to grab up strategic locations. They're just quickly trying to grab it all so they can get the points they need to win this battle. There's a sizable force, relatively speaking, at the stage of this battle of Russians. They might be falling back to, I don't know, a different position. They might be trying to get their LOC connected. Now it's like the tables have turned. The French cav is running down the retreating Russians. Tasted their own medicine. Got some artillery that's repositioned. The heroes of the day here. Their general, this is the artillery of the general that was slain. They're seeking revenge, these Russian dogs. Yeah. And I say that, you know, jokingly, role-playingly. For my Russian viewers, of course, you're not dogs. Okay. I know, I've got some Russian viewers out there. Appreciate you guys. But yeah. I remember saying that, like, Polish dogs or something, you know, just like role-playing, and someone legit got offended, you know. It's like, come on. Come on, I'm just joking. Just getting into lost in the chaos of it. But yeah, the Russians, I think they're going to try to hold on to this 2-point building. They're inside the building. See, it's hard to tell who has who. Like, what buildings are controlled by what faction. Because if it's far away and the enemy can't see, you can't really see who controls it. Let's see, what's going on over here? Hold on, what is this? We've got some French troops battling for... Oh my gosh, if they take this, it's over. If they take this, it is over. This is... Notice how it connects here. Okay, let's think about this. What are the key okay, let me rephrase this because I can't speak English. What are the key important parts or capture points that they need? The French have the 4-pointer. They definitely want to gain control of this position. That's going to give them another 2 points. That will give them 6 points. And I don't know if that's enough to win. It really just depends on like who controls these buildings over here. But a part of me feels like nobody does. I don't, unless there's some Russian units in it, which I don't think there are. So it might be just enough to win the day by capturing this building and capturing this building. And they're connected, right? Also gaining control of this structure would be good. The Russians look like they're gonna try to hold on to this one. We got a poor dead rider here. Look at this. Look at this. I think it's a Frenchman. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I mean, it's tragic, but someone help this man. It'd be kind of cool if he eventually disconnects, you know? Damn, this horse doesn't care. Not a care in the world. But yeah, let's see. Let's go back over here. The Russians, looks like, well, it's too early to really tell, but it does look like the Russians are going to hold on to this point. It's 1 point. Russians holding on to this 2-pointer. And yeah, it's like the main conflict has ended. There's still a lot of Russian forces. The main conflict has ended, but now they're just fighting for buildings, you know. I would say this is kind of the weaker point of this type of gameplay, the like desperate fight for these buildings. You know, when the battle is kind of over-ish and you've got these random units kind of running around trying to capture the buildings. It's not the best, but it still is way better than just normal battles. You know, I think it makes it way more interesting. There's Cav coming over this way because there's still how much time? There's 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes of these units fighting for these structures. And I'm curious to see like what they have, like, you know, who has what buildings. We've got Bavarians flanking around. This is good play right here. Artillery is moving as well. They're really leaning on that artillery because they don't have the infantry, but they do have the artillery. And they're going to set these suckers up and just fire at them. And that will most likely get them to break. I don't see the Russians hold, even though the Russian force looks fairly strong, relatively speaking. I just don't think they're going to have enough here to withstand the bombardment of this artillery and the harassment of these units. The Bavarian units. Look at this. The artillery still moving forward, just using the support of this infantry. I'm hearing yelling here. Oh, they're going to charge? Looks like they're charging, but I don't know if that's going to work out for them. Oh, look it. They're going to hide behind the building and try to prevent unnecessary deaths here, unnecessary casualties. There goes the artillery. Why is he getting so close, though? I would just charge. Yeah, and he's charging the general. This could be disaster. If this general doesn't... Nope, he's not going for it. They're not going for it. He limbered up. He limbered up again. But that faint charge delayed, at least. It delayed the Bavarian artillery from setting up. Oh, this Cav is getting shot at. They don't realize it. It's Polish Lancers. Yeah, get out of there. Got more Cav running down this way. Yeah, the French are just going to surround and probably whittle away at this Russian force. Over here, it's same thing. The French are going in on the attack. Nice little cav charge into this infantry. They're going to break them. And they're going for the kill. Are they going to go in for a charge? More? Is this... Yeah, they're going in for a charge. There they go. Nice. Is it going to be enough, though?
We have killed their general, sir.
Oh, another general. This is the Russian general. They charged in some cav. Man. They've charged in cav. So what are we down to? We're down to 8 minutes in this fight, and they're just cleaning up the Russian forces. And if they take this building, it's now even. Send in another unit, and they've got it, guys. I mean, they're going to take it. We're going to fast forward here a little bit as the battle has slowed down quite a bit. French are going in. They're cleaning up these troops. And yeah, they're going to take control of this. Definitely. Let's do normal speed here because they're going to control this building. And that most likely will be game and a victory for the Royal Cravates. I think that's what's going to happen. Again, they've got 8 minutes. That is plenty of time. Plenty of time to kick these Russians out. You know, they can definitely kick them out. And over here, the Russians held. Oh, and the Russians are sending back reinforcements. They really don't want to lose this building. Oh, they're going to hold here. But does that matter? I don't know. I think, actually, I think the Russians will win this. I think the Russians will win this. Right? Because, oh, no, they won't. They won't. I don't know if anybody controls. So it really just depends. Does anybody control these buildings here? I don't think so. All these buildings have been kind of abandoned, and they're fighting for the high point buildings, and they're also fighting for the exit points. So I think the French will win this just by taking this building. Yeah. They'll win this by taking the building. The Russians still have units in here, though. The French need to take care of that. And they're using the artillery. I think they're just damaging the building enough, which causes the men to basically lose morale. And they're going to charge in some infantry. The rest of the units are making a move on this 2 point over here. And I think that will be enough to win it. Because then they'll have the 4, the 2, and the 2, and an exit route right here. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points. Yeah. Yep. And it'll be impossible. Because, like, if they take... Think about this, guys. If they take the 2 points here, it'll be 8 points, and they have an exit route. The Russians will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Because this 2 point will cut off these 2 buildings. So, yeah. It's gonna be I think that's how it's gonna work. But there's still a lot of Russian units over here. Holy crap. I don't know if they're gonna be able to take it. They're running out of time. The Russians are trying to win by the clock. They're trying to win with the clock. And are they gonna take this building? They gotta be careful. They're doing just enough damage to it. I assume they don't want to destroy it. Look at these guys go. They've got to move. This is going to be a tough fight here, though. I don't know. Right? Because if the Russians can hold on to this house, that's 2. And then 3. Because they still hold this one. Right? So they have an exit route. So that's 2. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe if they control all these houses here? It's possible. They're the ones who last was near them, right? The French got pushed away from them. So I feel like the battle's going to be decided right here. The French can win it if they take this right here, but they've got 3 minutes. I don't know if that's the case. That's just me, you know, estimating it. Dude, this building now is down to 53% still. The artillery is still firing. Are they using canister shot or something? Yeah, they're using canister shot, which is lowering the morale of these troops. They're down to orange. And now the French are going in for a charge. This is kind of huge right here, this moment, because if the Russians can hold this, then they keep the points. There's no other French reinforcements here. It's up to these 2 French units to overwhelm these Russians. Here they go. Yep. And they're going to win. They're going to win. The Russians, well, their morale is going back up. And the balance of power is shifting in favor of... Oh, okay, no, they're losing. There we go.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
There we go. Yep, the French have taken it. So that's a huge loss for the Russians right there. So that's now officially 6 points for the French. The French are going crazy. Yep, they want this position. Oh my gosh, they took the building. They took the building. They want... If they hold it, they win. Right? They took it. Yeah. Yes. They took the building. I don't know why it's still showing it's in Russian control. Oh, there we go. They got it. That's the win. That's a win right there. Yes. All right. So, we're almost out of time. Let me explain it really quick. Once again, you look at my mouse cursor. They've got the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. They have 8 points here and an exit route. The Russians, they've got 1 point here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. These points don't count because they're cut off. These points count because you can link them all together and an exit route, but it will be 8 to 7 if I am not mistaken. Yep. So even with this 2-pointer over here, every building is worth 1 point if there's not a point next to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is insanely close. And yeah, I do think the Russians do control these buildings. I wish you could see, because the fog of war, you can't really see if they control them, but I'm just assuming they do. And yeah, that's going to be it. That's a French victory, guys. Just like that. These cluster of buildings and the exit route. That is so cool. I like the LOC. It does create some awkward endings where it feels like the battle's over and they're just having to play cleanup, which I think in the future, if I have a battle like this, I'll edit the ending a little bit faster and just giving you a summary of like what happened. But yeah, I just, for my own sake, I had to understand how this game was won. But yeah, that's going to be it. We're going to fast forward and get the end results. All right, here's the end results, guys. This was a lot of fun. Really skilled players. A very crazy moment of just the French coming back with that artillery and mass breaking that Russian army that was victorious in the other side of the battlefield, but they kind of rushed to their doom and they didn't set up properly, and I feel like they just got focused down by a well-positioned artillery and some good units, and that's really what decided the battle. This is a great fight, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was definitely... I would love to see more of these like clan matches. They're very intense. And I do like the new LOC conditions. I think it makes it interesting. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.